Hey, Bobby Manning here from Celtics practice on Wednesday. Celtics coming off their win over the 76ers, 126-117. Talked about on the Garden Report last night, a little bit in some post-game segments. Go check those out on Celtics All Access. But get to watch a little more of the film, the replays. Talked to Joe Mazzulla here today. They got to go through a light session before they head down to Florida. And is there anything you want to get off your chest from last night about that game that you didn't last night?
Well, I mean, they handle business. I mean, Philadelphia is a team that I don't think is anywhere close to being as good as they'll be come February, March, and April. They got a lot of things they got to get better at. But the Celtics, I thought, more than anything else, they just handled their business. And I think what they showed the world was just how deep they are. And this is depth without Rob Williams, without Danilo Gallinari. And when you're able to go a legitimate 8-9 deep, which I think they will be able to do, they're going to be one of the last teams standing in the East. I'm fairly confident that's going to be the outcome this season for the Celtics.
And it was an advantage for the Celtics how slow Philly looked, how out of shape a few of those guys looked late into the game, out of gas. Every team wants to play fast. We've heard the Celtics play for years. We got to pick up the pace. We got to get up the floor. And it either works or it doesn't. But for this group, we've seen them play in recent years. It can be slogging. It can be methodical. There can be some stagnant stretches on offense. And there was none of that last night. And I'm just wondering, what flipped for this offense over the summer? Because it's completely different.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just maturity. I think it's maturity and added focus and motivation after how things ended last year. They, losing in the finals the way they did left a bitter taste in their mouths, particularly for Jayson Tatum, who did not have a Jayson Tatum-like finals. He played similar to what we've seen in previous rounds of the playoffs, and even in the regular season. They probably win that series in 5, maybe 6 games. So he has a different level of motivation. And Jaylen Brown, I think it's a no-brainer. All the Kevin Durant talk just made someone who was already really focused even more locked in on what he needed to do. And I thought both of those two guys specifically, were phenomenal.
Yeah. Where's the shirts?
Exactly.
We're still waiting.
Exactly.
Jaylen starts 3-9. He ends up, I think, 14-24, just locked in the second half. And they're playing off each other. They're finding their moments to shoot. They're getting easy looks. And that was the biggest thing for me. It was so easy for those guys. Open looks, off-ball screens, freeing them. Of course, the transition game gets easy looks as well. 35 each for those two. It's got to be right up there for the most points they've ever scored together in a game. It looks like they've kind of figured out how to play to each other. A year ago, we're asking, can these two coexist? And now Paul Pierce is saying on Twitter, this is the best duo in the NBA. What a difference a year makes.
Yeah, it's a little early to give them the we're the best.
Okay, you're holding back on that?
Well, I'm holding back because they played one game. That's why I'm holding back. I think at the end of the season, when we're looking at the top tandems, they will be on that short list. There's no doubt about that. Particularly when you look at their ability to score, their ability to at the other end of the floor, which I thought was something that we haven't really talked a whole lot about.
Defense,
I thought defensively, both Jaylen and Jayson were really, really good. Particularly when guys were trying to beat them off the dribble and guys had to, rather than get to the hole, they had to stop and back up and reset the offense. And then by the time they did that, there's 5 seconds on the shot clock. Little things like that I thought Jaylen and Jayson did a really good job with. Speaks to how they're getting it done at that end of the floor. That may not necessarily show up, but 35 points obviously will.
That makes it easier going transition too. All those stops, all those turnovers they piled up. So if it's not Brown and Tatum, who heads into the season as the top duo in the league?
Oh, goodness. I mean, until I've seen them completely crater in, you got to look at KD and Kyrie. Two Hall of Fame. I mean, you're talking about 2 Hall of Famers in Kyrie and KD who can still go out there and get buckets. I mean, a bad night for KD is 25, 6 and 4. And Kyrie, we just don't know where he's at. So that's why I think it's too early to put anyone in that category. But if we're going by what guys have done historically, then you got to look at probably KD and Kyrie, Steph and Clay possibly.
They blew it up last night.
Yeah, so I mean,
Kawhi and PG are back tonight.
Exactly. So there are a number of tandems out there that the Celtics duo is going to be in a conversation with, but it's just too early to put any one above the rest at this point.
Well, they're right there. They're in that conversation. It looks like these Celtics are going to be in the conversation for one of the better teams in the league this year. We saw how dynamic they can be on both ends of the floor. They're heading down to Miami. Sherrod and I will be down there. CLNS Media, as well as Bleacher Report, fullcourtpress.bulletin.com is where you can get Sherrod's writing from last night and for the rest of this NBA season. Of course, new articles up at CLNSmedia.com and Celtics blog from last night. So go check those out as well. Celtics All Access, CLNS Media, go subscribe over there. And of course, we're brought to you by Com. Com.com/Garden gets you 40% off a premium subscription to sleep sounds, meditation, music, and a little bit of everything to help you relax. And athleticgreens.com/Garden gets you 5 free trial packs of their great powder, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and more, as well as a year's supply of immune boosting vitamin D. That's key right now heading into the fall. That's athleticgreens.com/Garden. From Celtics practice, we'll see you down in Florida for the back-to-back against the Heat and the Magic.